Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end is just the beginning. Good morning, good afternoon and good night. This is episode 19 of the Indie Author Roadmap. I am Rob Radcliffe and we have with us...
the amazing Rachel Morton.
I say with us like I'm more than one person.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just got about your personalities.
Yeah, there's loads of people just behind me. That's what it is. Just watching us. It's weird. I don't know where they come from, to be honest. Every time, plus, yeah. So with us is Rachel Morton. Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
And what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about burnout and overwhelm, and then getting that creative spark back.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's something that every author will deal with at one point or another, I guess. And it's all mindset, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you tell us about your burnouts.
Without stealing your story.
Yeah, without mentioning mine, because that's mine, so that when we get to me, I've got something to say still. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So I burnt myself out mostly because I was doing other stuff. So I was doing my degree at uni, and I'm an all-in kind of Hermione Granger kind of person. So it was study as many hours as possible because I am going to get a first in my degree, and nothing else will be good enough. So I was doing that, and I was trying to write books. And then I did the same. I did it for my master's, and then I went on to the PhD, and I was just like, trying to do it all. And when I was at the PhD level, I also put out 12 books in a year, which is a lot.
12 books?
12 releases in a year. And yeah, I just fried my brain, and I could feel it. Like when I sat down, because obviously I write paranormal romance, and when you're writing, well, I think it's with anything, like you write your lad lit, you feel the emotions, don't you, when you're writing?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't feeling the emotions, so when I was trying to write romance and I was trying to make it really grippy, I wasn't feeling anything. I just felt completely numb. But it wasn't just random, it was constant, and I was like, there's something wrong, and I just burnt myself out with trying to do all of it.
Were you just not connecting? Was it just literally just hollow shell writing, and you just weren't connecting to your characters? Or?
Yeah, I just wasn't connected to the characters, wasn't connecting to the story. I was like, you know, when you get to the kind of the last bit of the story, you know, when they have the whole all hope is lost, and it should be a really emotional point in the story, and I was just like, I'm bored. But the story wasn't boring. I was managing to kind of fake it because my beta readers were like, this is amazing, and I'm like, I feel nothing. But I think it was because I'd written so much, it was putting it in naturally, but it took the joy out of the writing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I had that with book 4, because it was a book that I didn't want to write, but because I'd left book 3 on a hangover, on a cliffhanger, I needed a book. I couldn't just, like, what happened in book 3, it needed a book to explain away kind of thing. It couldn't just be a quick paragraph onto the next book, inside the next book, and I didn't like it, a lot of it, and I didn't think it was funny, and I was just literally just doing the motions kind of thing. But then I left it for ages. I'm really good at doing that, leaving books for ages and doing something else, while the idea kind of formulated in my mind, a proper idea, not just I need to do this book, so I need to write words. And when I came back, it was okay. How did you deal with your burnout?
Um, I finished uni.
But I mean,
Yeah,
going back, like you wrote 12 books while you were doing a PhD. What was your PhD in?
it's the psychology stuff.
Right, psychology.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
why are you
no,
not a
neuro.
psychology writer?
Because, well, at the
Not
time
enough
I was.
magic. Not enough magic.
No, I mean, if you want the really sad story, I was also caring for a parent with cancer, so I had to come out of it and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it was a really hard time in life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
and
shit you write about, man.
yeah, yeah, and I was just pretty much mentally falling apart, as you can imagine, when
Yeah.
you're dealing with all that stuff. And so I came away from uni, and my friend said to me, "You've always wanted to be a writer. Why are you constantly having it as a hobby? You've got all these books that are selling, you're earning enough to be a full-time writer. Why don't you just to go and take a shot at it?" So I was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to." So I did that, which is why I came away from becoming a doctor.
So what was your plan though? I mean, writing aside, what were you planning to be?
I wanted to become I was aiming to become a forensic psychologist.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you not Karen Slaughter?
I know.
Although that's medical. Hers are
Yeah,
more medical, aren't they?
she,
But
wasn't she? What did she deal with? She was something medical, wasn't she?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sorry, what it was.
And when you had the burnout, what that was like the overwhelm as well. I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah. It was just because I was trying to do all the things, and I was probably having like 16-hour days, 7 days a week
Yeah.
for like 2 years. Well, even longer than 2 years, and yeah, there's a point where your brain just goes, "Nope, we're not doing this anymore."
No, but I mean that's lunacy anyway. Managing to write 12. But were you writing typing or were you dictating then?
It's a little bit of both. It wasn't 12 actual books, it was 12 releases. So it was 8 books and 3 box sets.
Still. Oh right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But it's still a lot
eight.
of books.
Yeah. Eight books in a year while you're doing
Yeah. While,
a
while I'm
PhD.
writing a dissertation, while I'm caring for somebody who's not well.
Yeah, so dissertation is about 10,000 words, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So you knock
Oh,
that
I
out
wish.
in an afternoon, and
Oh,
then
I wish.
and just carried on with your writing, eh? You
I
got your
wish.
words down. You got your words in. Quick dissertation for your
No,
PhD.
because on your dissertation, 100 words takes you like 3 hours because you've got to get it all right.
Yeah, it's all research in it. It's not. You can't magic away plot holes in a
No, and
dissertation.
because it was my dissertation, and because I was going for a PhD, it was my experiment that I had to do.
Yeah. Right.
So it was my study. So it was even harder.
Yeah. So how did you get over?
I had to be realistic for myself because I had a goal of writing 6,000 words a day.
Yeah, that's a
That
lot.
that that was constantly my goal, 6,000 words a day. And so I'd come away from uni, and COVID happened actually then. And then I was doing writing sprints every day with a friend. But I have the kind of personality who likes to achieve everything. I'm one of these people who loves exams at school because it's how I can prove that I know everything, because that's just me.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had to be realistic myself and say 6,000 words is not what I can manage at this stage in my life. It's just not. And it was trying to get out of the mindset of thinking that I was a failure because I couldn't do the 6,000 words. So
Yeah, I
I've
mean
not.
these are like kind of self-imposed things, and you
Yeah.
just do a bit less, and it's still self-imposed. I mean,
Yeah.
why six? Why not 12? You know, it's just a
Yeah.
number. Why?
So, well, 6 for me is because I was writing with my friend doing sprints, and we used to do 6 sprints basically. And I could write 1,000 words in each sprint. So 6,000 words became my average number, which I could do if I didn't have all the other shit going on in my life.
Well, yeah,
And
exactly. I mean, it's all very well. I
yeah,
can write 6,000 words a day, but
yeah,
to do it every day and that's what you have to do, that's
yeah.
a bit.
Well, that's what I did. But because I have an achiever kind of brain, I was like, well, I know I can write 6,000 words, so that's going to become my goal. And
Right.
yeah, and so I had to just have a realistic talk with myself, and it took a lot to convince myself that it's okay to only get 2,000 words.
Yeah.
And in fact, there was even a period of time in my life where I said 2,000 words is the goal, but if I get at least 100 words in the day, then it's still target met.
Yeah.
I
And what
literally had to take baby steps back into writing.
and what do you average these days?
Now I set my goal at 2,900 words a day because I go for that million words a year
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
still
yeah,
crazy. I can't get rid of these parts of myself,
yeah.
but I
So,
don't have the same stuff going on that I have going on now. So
no,
I also schedule myself a day off every week. Because I never used to give myself a day off. That 6,000 words was 7 days a week. It wasn't like just Monday to Friday. And so now I'm like Sundays are my day off. So if I don't do any writing on Sunday, it's fine. And if I do writing on Sunday, it's a bonus.
how many words is that a year? 6,000 a day,
I'm not sure.
2 million in it ish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to be a couple of million words. Bearing in mind you've got time off for holidays and being unwell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was one of these people as well. So I'll say my goal is 6,000 words a day, and then say I got the flu, so I was off for a week. I would still keep count of those words I'd not written, and then say I had to make them up.
God.
Yeah. And it was so stupid because I'm like, it was my own deadline. Nothing bad was going to happen if I just said, okay, I was off sick for a week.
So not only are you giving yourself 6,000 words a day, like day in day out, that's too much. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
But you have flu for 3 days, and then on day four, you come back going, right, 24,000 today, just to
Yeah.
get back into the 6,000 a day.
Well, what I would tend to do is it would be like, right, well, it's 8,000 a day now until I've made all those lost words back up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it is difficult, especially when, because I mean, I do the Stephen King 2,000 a day, and sometimes I don't even keep to that. It depends on how a book's going, because I used to beat myself up every single day that I didn't write something. So as long as I write something, as long as I allow Mr. Muse into my life every day, I'm sort of that's okay now with
Yeah.
myself.
You've ticked the
Uh,
box.
yeah, but even if I'm only writing like 500 words a day or 1,000 words a day, I know the further on I get into the book, especially the last third, I'm going to be writing 7,000, 8,000 word days anyway.
Yeah.
Because I want to finish it, and also, you get like that, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to get it done, because you're already thinking of the next one, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overwhelm can be, and it's not just the writing either. I mean, especially being an indie author, overwhelm can hit you hard, because it's the writing is just one bit of it all. You've got your marketing, you've got your newsletter, you've got to make sure everything's ticking over. You've got to make, if you want a website, you need to make your website. No one's going to do it for you, and you're god of your own universe. But it means you have to control all these bits and
Yeah.
spin the plates, so to speak. And especially if you want to kind of level up, it feels like you need to be doing twice as much as
Yeah.
well, and that it can become. I mean, I've got a list at the moment. I was chatting to an author last night, and it's like, "How are you doing?" I said, "Yeah. I'm planning on. I've got a launch tomorrow, which I have, and so I'm going to set up some ads, which I should have set up 3 days ago, but never mind. And I've got to format the book, and I've got to. Well, at the time, I had to make sure it was completely formatted to post over to Amazon, because they're asking for it. Otherwise, I lose my my
Pre-order.
pre-order privileges, and then I've got to make the paperback and the hardback and this, that, and on this massive list. I've got to tell my readers that there's a new book out, and it can be quite overwhelming. But I know that that's just because it's launch week. But
Yeah.
on a daily basis, you just have to take baby steps and just. I've started making a little list. Only 4 things are allowed on that list, because it'll be 20 bits long otherwise,
Yeah.
and I won't
Well,
do any of them.
when I was at the Island conference, Tony Lee was doing a talk, and
Yeah,
he put up that we're not actually writers, we're publishers who happen to also write our books.
yeah,
And he was saying that every book, new book you have come out, he has like a list of 25 things he has to do, and only one of them is actually writing the book. The rest is
yeah,
like all the stuff you've just talked about.
yeah, and it's true, innit? You are probably you're a writer well, I'm a writer in the morning before the sun rises, and that's the only time I'm a writer. But because I've been writing for 20 years, I feel like I'm always a writer, and
Yeah.
even having been published for 10 years, it still feels like the new thing, and I'm still a writer,
Yeah.
and it's weird. So what do you when you're overwhelmed? You did what did you? I mean, you finished your PhD, so you had that
Well, no,
was
I came out of it before I finished it.
right.
So, yeah.
So you kind of like you head butted that monkey off your shoulder because
Yeah.
you're enjoying the magic more than you were the science.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, should I go back? Should I go back and do it? And then I'm like, no, because I don't want to go and work for anybody else now.
Yeah. And
I
what would it
just,
achieve?
I would literally just be doing it to have finished it, right? And I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
it's cool and it's really interesting, which is why I I when I write blogs and stuff, there's like always like science stuff in it because it's just an interest. But
Yeah.
I don't need to go and get that PhD for what I want to do for my career because I don't want to go and work for somebody else now.
I guess it'd be. I mean, if you really wanted it, it'd just be a personal goal, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
mean,
It's
I
not.
get to put doctor on the front of all my name on my name.
But you're not going to put doctor on your death dealers, are you? You know.
I could do.
Yeah.
Well, when we introduce ourselves, instead of being the amazing Rachel, I'd be Dr. Rachel.
But also, like, if you were Doctor Rachel and you put Doctor Rachel on your on your books, they're going to automatically think it's a textbook.
Death, you imagine Death Dealers by Dr. Rachel.
Yeah, exactly. The inner workings of mortuaries or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I when I had a bit of an overwhelm thing, it wasn't the writing. The writing has never been an overwhelm thing. It was the everything else bit, and it was having 2 pen names and having about eight books in each pen name, 4 series, and I just didn't know what I was doing. It was a marketing overwhelm. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know, and I was just thinking, I need to market every single book, even though they're in a series, and I need to spend more time on that pen name. I need to spend more time on this pen name, kind of thing. So for a long time, I was just doing nothing, and then my creativity dried up as well, and I used to be a writer,
Ew.
and because I've
Is
been a
that
writer since I was 15 years old, I just felt like a massive piece of me was missing, and that's when I decided to unpublish everything and start again.
is that because your brain was always on the gotta market, gotta market, gotta market mindset that you
Yeah,
created?
a little
Yeah.
bit. It was I just wasn't giving myself a break, and I wasn't just going, right, take a step back, breathe, and figure out what you need to do here. And when I did that, it became a lot. Became a lot easier because although I had 2 pen names, I was starting again from book 1, and then I was reading them. I was re-editing, so it was all nice and shiny and new covers and all the rest of it. So it felt like I was doing it for the first time again, even though the story was basically the same. But then I was concentrating on, it was just focus, I think, more than anything. I lacked focus because I was thinking, fucking hell, I've got all these books, and they were just heavy on my shoulders. And yeah, and that's when I re-released everything, and sort of what I did was I just gave myself a break and don't worry about it, you know. And then when I started re-releasing them again, it's like number 2 in my Ladlet series. I don't even think about that one. Number 3, I don't think about. I think about number 1 now, and the one that I'm going to be launching. The rest are back fodder that readers are going to enjoy as they go through the series, but they're not my problem anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, and getting and thinking like that from a marketing point of view too, it means that I only have 2 things to worry about, and that's making sure readers are getting and jumping on book 1,
Yeah.
and then, you know, if they like it, they'll go through the series, and having a new release and talking about that one. And
Yeah.
that's, and yeah, that's it's done me right, that.
It must have been very scary actually though to go and click or unpublish on all your books.
Yeah, I did a YouTube video, didn't I? About 20 minutes long of me whinging about it all on my. I think you saw it, didn't you? I think you
Yeah.
commented it. Uh, yeah, because I've never known any authors to do that kind of thing before. Because obviously your money stops like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I felt it was something I really did need to do, and I market more effectively now. You know, I wasn't marketing properly. I was just dribs and drabs of everything. I was as chaotic as my head was with the marketing, and now yeah, it was a focus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did it. You know, especially for this series because I just couldn't seem to find readers,
Yeah.
and it was because I was positioning them in the wrong places, and it's taken until this year. I mean, Meat Market's going to have been out for 15 years now. I think I wrote it. Fucking hell, I'm getting old.
So
Yeah,
when you
Meat Market.
when you
Hey,
put them back out, did you just reactivate the old listing or did you republish it as a new title?
I republished it. No, it was a new listing. I republished it, but I made sure the metadata was the same so that
Yeah.
my reviews could jump over onto the new. Because I mean, Meat Market's got like 1,100 reviews. I don't want to lose them. You know,
No.
as good or as bad as reviews do people pay attention or anything like that. If you've got 4-figure reviews, readers are going to see that people are reading this book, and that, you know, that subconsciously they're going to be thinking, well, there's something in it, as
Yeah.
opposed to if you had 3 reviews for something. So I wanted to make sure that I had I kept all my reviews. Most of them made it over, thankfully. Yeah. What was the question? It
Oh,
wasn't about reviews.
no, I was asking if you so did you just go in and re-upload a new book and a new cover to the original thing?
No, so yeah, no. It was a completely new file
Yeah.
and everything. So, and the only problem with that is now that although Meat Market was published in 2022, I have reviews dating back from
Yeah.
2015,
Yeah.
which is a bit weird. But I don't think many people actually re-reviews anymore. They just look at
No,
how
it's
many
like you
stars.
say,
And,
if it's the numbers,
yeah,
they'll see the big numbers. Obviously, it's a popular book.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, that was my overwhelm, and it was literally just giving myself a break, not beating myself. I still beat myself up when I don't write every morning. I've done about 300 words today, but I'm happy with that because the sun's out and I'm having a barbecue later,
Yeah.
and also I've got a launch tomorrow, so my list of things today is not writing book
Yeah.
7 in a series where book 5 is getting released tomorrow. It's not that important. I can give myself a break, and I think for me it's about giving myself a break and just not worrying and just being focused marketing wise on those 2 things, and writing wise, don't give yourself 6,000 words a day to achieve.
Yeah, no, no. So basically, we did the same thing to get out of it. It's just like take a step back and do it one
Yeah,
step at a time.
yeah. And another thing that because writing funny books, it's not me that ever thought they were funny. And when I wrote them, when I wrote the first one, I wasn't thinking I'm going to write a comedy.
Yeah,
It was the readers that decided they were funny. It was obviously the voice and the tone and the sort of got sarcasm or whatever, and then and that's what I realised that the rom-coms and stuff. But writing a fun, but then you've got the expectation. Then this is 6 books along in this series. Now I know they have to be funny, and
yeah,
then that's an extra monkey on your shoulder thinking, oh fuck, well what if it isn't?
yeah,
And that can be quite difficult sometimes when I sit down to write. And I think that's where my pen name was born, just so I could concentrate on something else completely different and kind of cleanse the palate, whether it be in the middle of writing a funny one or whatever. And it means I can come back with fresh eyes, kind of thing,
yeah. So
and
do
try and
you?
be funny.
So after you've had a launch, because you're launching tomorrow, is that what
Yeah.
you've got to upload it by, or is that when it actually publishes?
That's
Yes.
when it's published tomorrow. Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
done everything. I'm right up to the hill once again on this one, but that's
yeah,
okay. I would have beaten myself up forever. I'd have been up all night stressing, but I've got book 6 out in July, so I'm just still again. I'm not that bothered because it's backlist then. So the although I want a nice launch, and I think I've got about 150 pre-orders on the book, so I'll have a nice little chunk of change
yeah,
tomorrow. It's made a little bit of money, which is great. I'm not that bothered. It just means that now I'm going to put some ads behind Tindered, which is the book, and see some page reads, and it's just on to the next one because they have to read through the rest of the books to get to that one now.
yeah,
So whereas I used to panic, this is the new book. Oh, everyone needs to be. And I don't think for a series it's as important. It's more
no,
important than it's back to traditional mindset as well, where people didn't write in series, and the next book is the book.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas I don't feel it's really the case. It's more like fan service,
yeah,
and it's book 1 that's the most important now.
yeah.
I'm
Because
still trying to get my head around that.
you've got to promote book one because there's a new series coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah, a new
uh,
episode coming out. But so now you're releasing tomorrow,
yeah.
do you jump straight into your next book or do you give yourself time off?
My next book's written. It's been written
Yeah.
for 9 years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, say you didn't have your next book written, what would you normally do?
I jump over to the other pen name. It's a
Yeah,
palate cleanser. I mean,
yeah,
I have a book, a Rob Radcliffe book, a Ladlit book that's due out in the end of July, and then I know for certain I'm going to write. And then I've got 2 other books that are written, which is a different series but under Rob Radcliffe. So this is all easy stuff. This is no writing. This is just planning for
yeah.
launches. But then I've got one at the end of the year, Christmas Ladlit one. But I've got a lot of year still. But I need to start.
They'll go fast. There's only 38 Fridays till Christmas, you know.
I know someone keeps reminding me. Uh, but I know that I've got time, so there's no overwhelm there, and I'm plotting it, and it's basically a collection of all the funny shit me and Shan say to each other. I'm
Yeah,
forever getting these little snippets, and then I sort of it's a Christmas book, so it's about Christmas. The plot's there, and I'll figure it out probably in about Octoberish
yeah,
because once once I've written it, it's literally a couple of days turnaround. My editor's really, really quick for me. He's lovely, and I can get it all done in a day, packed up and shipped off, so to speak, to Amazon. But I will be focusing on my next RJ Radcliffe one, and then I'll jump back to I always kind of jump back and forth in
Yeah.
to cleanse the palate. What do you do? How do you work it?
Mine's chaos. Absolute chaos.
Yeah,
I don't have any plan like that at all. I literally just write, right, what's next? And then I'm like, okay, I need to write this book next. And then I end up doing what I'm doing now, and I'm got 3 books on the go at different stages.
yeah. I mean, it's weird, like being two authors because they're very different authors. You know, these two people I have in my head. Like this stuff is like the Rob Radcliffe stuff is a chat down the pub with your mate, and it's really
Yeah,
easy. And I want to be funny with it and all the rest of it. Make sure there's plenty of heart in it. I always want to make people cry at the end. That just because I like it to be a bit of a roller coaster like that of emotions. But my RJ stuff is very digging deep into research, and I call them my grown-up books.
yeah,
Because I'm researching and I'm making sure everything's right and finding little loops and twists and stuff. So they write very differently. Although some readers have said you can tell they're both my books. I guess that's
yeah.
my
But completely fun.
overarching voice kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Burnout, I haven't really. Well, Burnout, yeah, I mean, it was Burnout from all the other things other than the writing for me.
yeah.
Uh,
It's the same thing, isn't it? It's the overwhelm and burnout, I think, come together.
yeah, yeah.
And you,
The,
yeah,
the burnout is the process, and the overwhelm is the feeling afterwards of
yeah.
like,
Is when your brain kind of goes, no, no more.
no more now. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
gonna sit and binge watch loads of stuff.
So how would you like if you had because I mean if we're catering for new writers, uh, they've got the book out, they've got the reader magnet out. Say they're writing book two. It's not really going to be words burnout. It's going to be all the other things.
Yeah, I think if I had advice to new writers, it's try not doing all the things. You don't have to do all the things at once. But you also the mistake I made was not taking pleasure in the things I enjoy to give myself downtime. Because I like gaming and I like reading and I like just shit like that. And I wasn't giving myself time off.
Yeah,
So, 'cause I was actually reading something the other day that was talking about in the evening when you sit and watch Netflix or whatever, instead of doing that just because you're absolutely knackered, but you should and you see it as procrastination. Instead, you should see it as like a treat for yourself, and it's something
yeah,
really good, and get rid of the guilt because we're not robots.
yeah. I mean, obviously we're all readers before we write. You will never ever find an author who doesn't love to read. You just won't because they would never think, "Oh, I'll write a book even though I don't read them."
I
And
know of two actually that do that, and it's always so bizarre to me. It's like a chef saying they don't like food. Like I don't
yeah,
understand.
it's never going to happen. A skinny chef, what you on about?
Exactly. I'm just like, I don't get it. Could you imagine a
Yeah,
fussy eater that's a chef?
yeah, exactly. But it's, I mean, I hadn't, I hadn't been reading for ages. I was just, like I said, just watching Netflix, just mindless, just drivel of
Yeah,
watching things. And I thought I need to start reading again because I love
yeah,
reading. And I've got all these books. I read on my phone. I don't have a Kindle or anything like that, and my eyes aren't good enough to read via paperback anymore, unfortunately. But I read on my phone, and so it was the beginning of this year that I thought I need to just start reading. So I chose all my favourite books to reread them just to get me back, and I'm really enjoying it again. Even though it's the end of night when I get to go to bed and read, and for the last 4 nights I've fallen asleep on the fucking same chapter, and so every night is Groundhog Day now. I'm getting back to the beginning of the chapter. Oh, what was happening? Oh yeah, right, okay, let's go. And then I just keep falling asleep. So I'm gonna read that, finish that chapter
See,
before I go to bed tonight.
that was one of my things when I was in the throes of getting my burnout. Was if I read I was reading something with the purpose of learning. So if I was reading a fiction book, it was because I was reading in the genre I was writing in, with the purpose
Yeah.
of learning from the book. If I was reading non-fiction, then it was either a craft book or it was some science journal kind of thing. So no,
So
none of
you're
my reading,
researching.
yeah, so none of my reading was ever pleasure. I mean, it was because it was stuff I enjoyed, but it wasn't just for the soul of having a really good time
Yeah.
in a book. Yeah. And so I had to, I decided when I was digging myself out, I was setting the goal of reading either the 30 minutes or 10 pages a day of a book just for fun.
Yeah.
And it was, I like, because I have favorite authors, but I've not been reading their books because I was like, well, it's not sciencey and it's not going to teach me anything. And really, they do teach you stuff because they get you creative, don't they? Even if you don't
Yeah.
write the genre you're reading. So
Yeah.
I
It's
was
that
like,
listening ideas, and you start thinking, oh, I'm gonna make yeah.
yeah. Yeah, exactly so. And but it's so I was like, I have to make myself do these 10 pages or 30 minutes a day of a book that's just for sheer fun. And actually I read all the Harry Potter books.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. And I
Have
had
you
a
ever
real
read?
and I really enjoyed them.
Have you ever? Have you ever read your own? Have you ever read your own books as a reader, not as not as the author of that book, but as a reader? Because it's a very different
I've,
mindset. You'd have to
I've
read it,
listened to it.
right?
I've listened to it as an audiobook as a reader.
Yeah,
And I was like, it was my first book that was in audio and I was listening to it while I was doing some other stuff. And I was just like, I never remembered there was bits there. I was like, I don't remember writing this. This is really good, this part. And I was really enjoying it. So I was like, this is cool.
yeah. It's weird. That sometimes causes me overwhelm. Like when I was going back through these books, when I was republishing them stuff, I wanted them to be more timeless. So that meant taking all like pop references of the moment references out, and because it doesn't change the story,
No.
and just so they're more timeless. And as I was reading them, I was thinking, that's dead good. That that's fun, and I like really getting into the emotion. And I haven't read them for 5, 10 years, whatever. So I was purely and I knew a few beats. I knew where I was heading in the
Yeah.
book, but there was all these things that that I was unexpected, I suppose.
And it's
But
good
then
though,
all
because
this,
it surprises yourself, doesn't it? And then you have the reaction that you wanted the reader to have when you wrote it.
yeah, yeah, and that's great. And it was kind of like a double-edged sword. At one point, I'm like going, "Fucking hell, well done, 25-year-old Rob, you nailed
Yeah.
that." And then the other bit was like, I'd never be able to write something like that.
No.
Oh God! And then and then I've got this new overwhelm. And with Tindered, Meat Market is book one in the series, and I ask readers all the time, which do you think's funniest? They've all got the place for different reasons, and they always say Meat Market, book one. Which it should be. You want to get the readers on board. That should be the one that's front and center. But then when I was writing Tindered, I'm thinking, fuck it, I wrote this 15 years ago, whenever it was, and why am I still bothering if I can't compete? And I
Yeah.
sent Tindered to a few of my friends because I thought it held up compared to Meat Market. And one of them, whose favourite book in the world is Meat Market, said, yeah, it's funnier. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, brilliant. I can still do this game. Brilliant. Yeah.
I think when you're in the thick of writing the book though, it doesn't feel the same as the reading the book.
No.
But and I think when it's a book that's further down in the series, it also doesn't feel the same way as it did when you wrote your first book.
Yeah. I mean, this one
Because
that's
you've
out tomorrow, it's a very personal book because it was instead of therapy, I've always written. It's cheaper
yeah.
to start off
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
And so Tindered was literally the worst time of my life ever. And to get those thoughts and that, fuck, what am I going to do out of my head, I started writing. It was a journal. It started as a journal. And I
Yeah.
think in the book now, it says it's a journal, but it feels like one of the series. I missed the point now. Yeah, so it's the most personal one. I fucking forgot my point. Forgotten what I was going to say. I've forgotten what I said.
We were talking about it not feeling the same as the first book, and
No, that isn't what my thought was coming
no,
at. You
no.
know, last week, I've just edited the episode, last week's, and you started laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? And you said, it's like you've forgotten what you're going to say before you've even said it. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, Tindered, brilliant.
Buy it. It's
Yes,
out
that's
tomorrow.
right. I've got it. I found it. I found it.
In
So
fact, no,
it
not.
was,
It's not out tomorrow when this episode goes out. It's out last week, so buy it
yeah,
and
it's
leave
out
your.
last Friday. Yeah, the point of it was, sorry, it was the worst time of life, and it was like it was just my therapy writing this thing. It was never going to be a book. I was. It was just to get the words out of my head onto a screen, and they're gone. Then it helps for some reason, but then you can always find funnies in when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
And I was very cynical and when things started getting better, at the end of the day, I was single at 37 years old and I fucking joined Tinder, and I've been in two long-term relationships back to back, so I'd never done Tinder. I,
Yeah.
I was in my 20s when I got with the first one, and then I did 10 years, and then I was in my 30s when I got the other one, and did 7 years. So all this big space of time, I never did this new
Yeah.
sort of
They've not been
dating,
around. Yeah.
and I didn't know what it was about. And I was 37, two kids, single, and feeling really lonely. And I joined Tinder, so that was basically my life.
Yeah.
And then I feel sorry for all the girls because they're in it. I don't use any names.
Did you meet your current partner on Tinder?
Yeah,
You
yes.
did?
At the end,
Oh, it worked then.
there's the author's note. There's a picture of me and her. And
Yeah.
I do all this fluffy. I've just told the end though. Don't bother write it now. Don't bother read it now.
Don't read it.
Yeah. But it's the journey. It's the
Yeah.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Literally at the end, when she comes into it, it's our screen grabs of our actual text conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
Because in Vellum you can add actual text
Yeah. Yeah.
conversations. So I've got all the text conversations and every. Yeah, it's very very real, all of it. And I think I put in the end note saying, yeah, everything actually happened. If anything, I toned things down a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much. See, it's a very laid bare. But I live my life like that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't hide anything away. I'm literally very live heart on the sleeve kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's the book to prove it. Yeah. Yeah. Sad loads then. Even though
Yeah.
I had a meltdown in the middle of it and not remembering much. So.
And I hope you leave your meltdowns in and don't edit them out.
Oh no, I'll leave it in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave most of it in because I believe the listeners laugh at it. Just laugh at me like some fucking
Yeah.
performing monkey. Yeah, I'll leave it in.
Yeah.
We're all waffle on this channel. We're all
Yeah.
waffle.
And I think we've burnt out on the burnout.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are your plans for the week? Let's pretend that we're recording on Monday, like we normally do.
Juggling the different writing things because I've got 3 books on the go.
Are you
So
writing them all at once?
no, they're all at different stages. So I've got the DCI one that I'm still plotting.
Yeah,
I've got the DCI book one that I'm actually editing.
editing. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've got one that I'm just writing for my Patreons as well.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah. Which is the one I'm dictating, which is has been really fun.
Yeah, I'm dictating. I'm going to jump on that. Yeah, I'm going to have to because I need to do something. I've got 15 days before one of my books is out that's Easter centric.
Yeah.
So I really do need to get out. And I've written 11,000 words,
I
But
did that in 2 days on my dictation.
yeah, I know. It keeps popping up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah,
Why are you not right? But you said that. I mean, brilliant. Do a post, celebrate it. We'll all celebrate with you. But what did you do the next day? And the next day, I'm not seeing any of like.
because that was
You know,
only yesterday and the day before. Because I set myself this challenge to dictate for 30 days because I wanted to see how many words I'd get.
but I've only seen day one, and then I've seen the other one where you day two,
I've
three.
done
And,
like
oh, hang
I've
on.
done
Yeah, we're only on day three, aren't we?
no, because I started it last week. But I've only just put the update up. So like for the when I started the challenge, it was like the end of March, and I did something like 27,000 words in the first
Have we
week.
done an episode about dictation?
No, but I don't think it'd say much. I don't know. We could do one about writing faster or getting your words down or whatever, and then that would encompass everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I decided this week, because I took my stationary bike out because I'm sitting all the time at the desk. It's it's just I need to move, so
Yeah.
I got my exercise bike out, and I'm like, do you know what? I can dictate and do that at the same time, not realizing that the faster I talk, the faster I pedal, and then I get out of breath. So it's really fun.
So there's lots of hers in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
dictation.
But then
Your
the
coughing
dog,
fit.
the dog has never seen an exercise bike before in his life, so he's got this thing, and I've just shoved it downstairs, and I'm pedaling on it. So he's really curious as to what it is. So do you know how many times his head has been smacked by the pedal because
Yeah.
he was just like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And
So
then so in the middle, you've
what's
got
your word per mile?
I don't know. Because I didn't. I was just like did 45 minutes on the bike.
Can you work that out for next week? Your word per
Well, I'd
mile.
have to go and put batteries in the thing. I don't know what you'd call it on the bike. It's literally
The
it needs.
pedometer thing.
Is it a pedometer? Because that's for
Yeah.
walking.
All right. Well,
But that,
you wheelie pedometer, whatever.
yeah.
So get some batteries for your wheelie pedometer,
So, see,
and then
words per mile.
yeah. Do you know what? You're gonna anyone watching on YouTube next week, you're gonna be coming on like that. Sit down, all brittle and frail, and go, I've just done 4 novels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like it though, because especially when it's a dialogue, and you've got a character going off on one, and because you dictated it, you can just get really into it because it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
it's
need
first
to.
person as well. Yeah,
I think maybe I should have because the book that I need to dictate just is my RJ stuff. I think I might just finish writing it and go because it'd be a lot easier to do a funny one, because it's just
dictate some blog posts that'll get you in the swing of it.
well, I'm dictating Tinder, so I'm getting used to
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
thing
yeah.
anyway. Going live on TikTok and stuff. I got a couple of sales the other day when I went live the other night. Oh,
Nice.
what's this? Book one? Oh, yeah, I'll jump on book one. Yeah, but I just need to make either increase the price of my paperbacks or make them smaller because at the moment I'm getting less I'm getting like £1.30 for a
Yeah.
paperback, and I think it's £2.19 for the book one for the ebooks. I want to level it up a bit because I got a
Yeah.
load of paperback sales, obviously TikTok because they all want to make the videos when they've read it. But I need to structure the pricing a bit better. I think with my paperbacks to get more money. How much your paperbacks sell for?
I can't even remember.
Hmm.
I can't remember. It's been that long since I've done one. I don't get that much profit on them because I don't tend to put them that high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean places like TikTok and Instagram where that they're gonna go. Oh, I got this. It's a prop in it. So they
Yeah.
seem to a lot of them seem to be buying up the actual physical copies because it's a
I need
prop.
to go back and do my paperbacks because they were one of those things that I just kind of threw on. So there was another version without much attention to it.
Yeah, yeah. But I
So that's
mean,
what.
I guess when you got 50 books out, It's sort of
Yeah.
easy not to want to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, but Book Talk now has brought the paperback back. Not that everyone went away, but it
Yeah,
was like KU was the
yes,
big thing. But now we've got Book Talk, and everyone's got the aesthetic bookshelves and shit like that, and they all start marking the books up, don't they?
yeah. Oh yeah, what is that about?
I don't know. Well, let's read your book.
Not
Yeah, you see,
once. Not one.
yeah,
I mean, like, little post-it note, different colours in
yeah.
different bits of a
Well,
book.
the only book I've got that looks like that is my own because I had to read it and make notes.
But what the fuck are they make? It's a story someone else is telling you. What?
Apparently, they color code their favorite quotes. They color code things like if there's a love story, so the things that go, as they progress the love story. Some people color code the sex scenes, and
Right.
but I'm like, but why?
Well, yeah. I mean, at what point are you gonna go? Oh, I'm bored. Oh, just dig into that scene on page 235 for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
The only place I can get doing that is if you're reading like a non-fiction and there's a quote that you want to go back to.
exactly, or a textbook or something.
Yeah.
That's you get. I don't understand that. I saw it
No.
on BookTok the other day. Big
Yeah.
thick thing, and it's just up and down with
Look.
little
Yeah.
tabs.
And they're all
Yeah,
special colours. I'm like, surely that must take you away from the book because you're stopping.
yeah. In saying that though, I want to see it on mine now, and I want to know exactly what those bits are.
Yeah. Yeah. Mind you, they do it on the Kindle, don't they? You can go in and you can see where people have done popular highlights.
Yeah, you
So
can.
both
I
too.
sometimes press the screen and it go, oh God, what for done now? Why is it blue? Yeah, but I guess that's what that's for, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we're missing out.
Yeah. Right. Okay. How's your TikToking and Instagramming and social media ness doing?
It's still shit. I'm trying. It's just really hard because it's just so busy. But I should have the house back to myself soon.
Yeah.
So makes things a lot easier. But yeah, it's hard to get. So it's like I set this challenge to dictate for 30 days, and I didn't manage to dictate this morning because I got up late. And I'm like, great, when I get time to dictate, everyone's going to be in the house, so I'm going to have to go and sit in the car to dictate.
Yeah.
And I'm only doing that because I've done the challenge. Because I'm like, I can't do a 30-day challenge when I only dictate for 29 days. It doesn't work. So yeah. So I have to remind myself it's okay to put out the same content, the same topic, but it's getting out of that getting into the mindset where you can just put stuff up, but it's also um getting the time to record stuff.
Do you do more videos and slides?
I do a mixture of both
Yeah.
and
Because
stuff.
slides are going gangbusters at the moment, whereas videos are a bit touch and go. I'm
It
finding.
goes up and down, doesn't it? One
Yeah.
of the things I hate, and I don't know how you do, or if it even bothers you, it's like I was out in Manchester on the weekend, and I'd done a video talking about why I'd written the Death Dealers series.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've just said why you wrote Tindered, and every single book you ever read by a writer actually usually has the theme of whatever's going on in the writer's life at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about the theme that was in that and video up, and then we were out drinking, and my son-in-law was like, "Oh, look at this!" And I don't even know why it came up on his TikTok, and I'm like, "Well, now I feel really embarrassed."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I should be doing some like why because at the moment with TikTok I've started doing it's just the same rom-com from the guy's point of view hook that seems to be still working well and getting new
Yeah.
readers and selling. So I'm just keep regurgitating. It gets boring though. I remember
Yeah.
when Adam used to say some days are just a slog, but
Yeah.
you just got to remember that
It's
98%
200
of the
people.
people they're seeing it for the first time
Yeah.
all the time, and you just keep that, and it can get fucking boring,
Well,
and it's
I've
just
had one on my other pen name that I just keep putting up, but I keep changing the music,
right.
and
Yeah,
it's only getting 700-800 views, but it keeps getting 700-800 views.
yeah,
And sometimes I
I've been
get,
finding as well, like ones will pop up because obviously you can activity thing when you in the app, and someone will be commenting on a TikTok that I did 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll buy that now. I'm thinking, so they've still got like a half life after,
yeah, they do
It,
come up because with me having two pen names, so I've got two TikToks, and I get my own TikToks. I'm getting ones that are like from ages ago.
yeah.
So yeah, but do you block everybody that knows you in real life so they don't get your TikToks, or does it
I
not
don't
bother
have
you?
anyone. No, no, but I don't
Because
have anyone.
I've not got them on my TikToks. They're not on my friends list. They're not even on my Facebook list. So I don't know why the algorithm is going, let's send it to this person who happens
Yeah.
to be in your family.
I've got well, I don't because you can import all your mates on Facebook, can't you?
Yeah, and I don't do
TikTok will
that.
always ask you that. I don't bother because at the end of the day, TikTok is a marketing platform for me to find
Yeah,
readers. Yeah, but no, I haven't got. I don't. I'm. There is people obviously that I know in Haywood that will be on my friends list just because I guess it will show them to people,
yeah.
that it
Maybe they
knows,
just don't tell you they've seen it because, it's like,
Yeah,
I was looking, on the top you can see who's viewed your profile.
yeah.
And I had that, and it was someone I went to school with. And I'm like, how the hell did you find me on there under a pen name? So I blocked them because I'm like, you're not seeing my shit because you'll just make me self-conscious.
Oh God. Or maybe they'll buy your books.
No, she
They'll
wasn't.
make they'll make you feel like you're 13-year-old again.
No, no, she was one of those friends where we were a bit dicks together. Do you
Right.
ever remember those Tango adverts when you were a kid for the you've been tangoed and you'd get smacked,
Oh
you get
yeah,
smacked.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we would walk into school and it was who could hit who in the face the hardest and go, you've been tangoed first.
Yeah, I
And so
remember all that shit.
we'd start our first lessons with these bright red cheeks. So
Yeah,
that's her kind of personality still, and she's a pisser. And I'm like, you're not seeing my books and my TikToks
yeah,
because you take the piss out of me, and it makes me feel silly. And then that puts a barrier up in front of myself, and I know it's my own barrier, so I'm like, I'm just gonna block you.
yeah. And then you start, yeah, and then you've got that niggling voice in your head, and then you
Yeah,
can't write because of this one person, that mate that you had
exactly.
years and years and years ago, when you were a kid, not an adult,
Yeah,
when you were a kid, is
First
now inside your brain, and you feel that old now, and yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna click block.
okay,
Yeah,
all right
but
then.
then I was
Well,
talking to Adam in Ireland about should you have different um TikTok pages for your different series because obviously he's launching a new series and most of his TikTok is based on his Levanthian series, isn't it?
yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, shit, it's so much to do."
Yeah, but then that's the second thing, innit? A second account. I mean, I'm thinking of getting another account, but more like TikTok for the TikTok shop.
Yeah, well, that's what he's got as well, isn't it? He's got a TikTok shop page.
Yeah, I guess yeah. It would be a series. It'd be helpful for it to be a series thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because if
Because
especially if you write two different, very different
from a
stories.
branding perspective,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because
But at the
obviously,
same,
I don't want to promote my police procedurals to the same people that I promote my urban fantasy to because they're just two different books.
but what if I mean? Because like I've got this stuff, and then I'll be releasing my a smaller series. It's only 3 books about winning a lottery, uh, but it's very much in the style of the flagship
Yeah,
series.
so that would be the same thing,
It'd
I
be the
would
same
think.
one, wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you wouldn't put your Divine series into that one because they're
Well, that's a
completely.
different pen name, but at the
Yeah,
same time, when I've written this, yeah, yeah, it would work a lot better because at the moment on my RJ TikTok, which I've not done anything because I've just been obsessed with the Rob Radcliffe one,
yeah,
actually finding the right readers, which has been great. But for the RJ TikTok, when I get back into it, I started putting up my although it's predominantly Divine, I started putting the Peter Pan retelling, even though I haven't written it all yet. And people were going, yeah, oh, that sounds really good. So I guess that would have to be two different ones, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're two very different. One's a fantasy world created from nothing, and the other
Yeah.
one stays very much, in real life.
I see these people who have 16 TikTok accounts and post 3, 4, 5 times a day on each one. I'm like, I have no idea how you do it.
They must have help. They must have
No.
other people that. Because I mean, it only takes me 2-3 minutes to, now that I've got all the videos, like, to do a slide and I know what I'm going to write. But to then know that you're doing another 4 or 5 of them in different they must have helpers. They must hire, the people, especially like the faceless. No, it doesn't even have to be the faceless ones, slides and stuff. Yeah. I think they've got helpers.
Must do. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's not a TikTok episode.
Hey?
I said, anyway, it's not a TikTok episode.
It's always a TikTok episode. Near the end.
Yeah.
Right. When we get to the TikTok bits, we know that we've now run out of steam, so it's time to go.
Yeah.
So, like, subscribe, ask us some questions, anything. Love questions. We'll answer them in next week's show, because we like the questiony things.
Yeah.
It saves us having to do much then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's your turn to come up with whatever we're talking about next week.
Okay.
It's done silence there.
Yeah. No, we'll do another crafty one. We'll do like dialogue and stuff that we were on about a couple ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
And questions if we get any questions.
Okay.
Right.
In fact, we don't want to give questions because that'll get you out of thinking on an episode.
Okay. Yeah. And also, if you'd like help, because I mentioned it in last week's episode, if you'd like help with formatting cover, if like you started your first book and you need help with your platform, setting everything up, give us a shout and I'll give you a hand. I did say that I'd format some books for free and give nudges on covers and stuff. So I'm still, because I don't have enough to do,
No. You still need to set the squiggles on my cover and send it to me.
Yeah. So give us a shout if you'd like me to give you a hand.
Yeah.
And I shall see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheerio.
Bye.